Well, hey, you guys, good evening. Thank you so much for being here tonight at our Connect group. My name is Dominic Insenius. I'm the leader at The Heart, and I want to let you know that you're in a room surrounded by people who are on a journey of faith just like you, and we're all trying to take steps and figure this out one day at a time. So you're in a great place to explore God in your journey of faith. We have some questions based around the message from Sunday morning. We're in a message series called Battle Ready. And what we're trying to do is prepare ourselves for what this year is going to bring, what the rest of this life is going to bring. And when things happen in our marriages and our relationships and tough situations come up at work or at school, any battles that we face in life, we want to be able to be battle ready for those so they don't happen to us and we're able to be steady in those battles that we're going to be facing because we will have made ourselves battle ready. So this past week, it was week 5, and we looked at what it means to have peace in our life and how peace can be a weapon and a tool that we have and that we can use whenever we need to in the midst of a battle, before a battle, or after. And we talked a little bit about how peace doesn't need to come at the end of a battle. It can be something that we experience and activate and have in the midst of troubles, in the middle of a battle. And we looked at a couple different scriptures. One of them was in 1 Peter, and then another one in the book of John. And I'll have those scriptures on the screen. I want you guys to be able to read those, maybe in a couple different translations. It's always good to look at things in different translations because it helps you get a broad view of what the authors of the Bible are trying to show us and trying to tell us. So this first question I want to jump into tonight, and remember, all of this is just for your discussion. Don't let the questions tell you what to think or what to say. Let them be a guide to exploring our faith through conversation and talking with each other. So this first question tonight is, I want to know, in your opinion, what does peace mean to you? When you think of peace in your life, what does that mean to you? And then one of the scriptures, I think it's in John, where it talks about talks about 2 different kinds of peace. What I want to know from you is, do you feel like there is a difference between the peace that comes from the world and the peace that comes from heaven? And in your opinion, what is the difference between those 2 types of peace? So it's kind of a 2-part. What does peace mean to you? And then what's the difference between the peace that comes from the world and the peace that comes from heaven? So let's get this conversation started tonight by talking about what peace means to you. So let's take a few minutes to dig through that together. All right, now one of the things we talked about is when it comes to strategy, when we think about being battle ready or having a battle plan, part of that is strategizing how you're going to win that battle. But when it comes to what we're talking about in what it means to be battle ready, we are not trying to fight others in our life. We are fighting against things like fear and anxiety and depression and anger. These are the battles that we want to be ready for, not the argument coming up. So I know this is true for me, so I want to be able to talk about it together in this group. Is describe a time when you took the time to strategize on how to win an argument with someone when you could have been strategizing peace and how to bring peace to that conversation or peace to that relationship instead. And if you're feeling brave, maybe tell us the outcome of that conversation or the outcome of that relationship when you strategized on how to win the argument when you could have been bringing peace to that conversation or to that situation. So let's take some time to reflect on our past. On some of these things, it's not about bringing up guilt and feeling guilty, but it is about confronting the things that have happened to us, the people who we were, so we can become the people that we want to be. So let's take a few minutes to talk through that together, is describing a time when you strategize on how to win an argument against somebody instead of being able to bring peace to that situation or that conversation. So let's take a few minutes to go over that. All right, for this third question, what I want to look at is John 14, verse 27. And you might have a couple different translations. And if you already read it, that's okay. But if you haven't, it's a good time to read it. What I see here is Jesus giving us a gift of peace. And what I want to know from you, my question for this is, if we don't have to wait for peace, because I think sometimes we say, once this trouble is over, once this mess is over, I can finally be at peace once all of this is over. But Jesus is showing us a peace that we can have in the middle of the troubles, in the middle of the battle. So if you don't need to wait for peace, but it's something that you can choose peace, what does that change about the situation, the battle that you are facing right now? What does that change about the battle that you are about to face in your life? I don't know what's going on in your life. I don't know what's coming up next for you, but you do. So if you know that you can choose peace and you don't have to wait for it, what does that change about the situation that's in front of you right now? So let's take some time to dig through that together. All right, so to end tonight, I want to incorporate this into actually one of the core values that we have here at the Heart. One of our core values is choice. We believe that choice is one of the most powerful things we have in our relationship with God, in our faith. I believe it's one of the most powerful things that Jesus demonstrated when he went to the cross. He chose to go to the cross, knowing what that would do for humanity, knowing that that would please the Father because of how big the impact of that would be. So what I want to know from you is, if peace is a choice, and that's what we're learning that it is it's a gift that's been given to us, and we can choose to operate in that peace, to have that peace, to bring that peace with us. If peace is a choice, and we're saying that it is, then how will you choose peace this week in the relationships, in the situations, at your job? How will you choose peace this week in your life? So maybe you can talk through that with us, maybe a situation, maybe where in your life you will choose peace and how you're going to bring peace and choose peace in that area. So I'm going to leave you with this here. I love you guys too much. I can't wait to see you this weekend at 9:30 and 11. I want to challenge you to invite a friend. If you are getting something out of this community, out of church on Sunday or out of group, you guys, it's so important to be able to bring people along with us. When we have community, we're able to take bigger steps in our journey of faith. So we'll see you this weekend. If not, I'll see you this week. And I love you too much. Talk to you guys later.